So that's it. And then hit this button and stream.
Hello.
This is my brother and I, and we're just going to talk about some stuff for a little while. D&D related, Warhammer, actually just general gaming related stuff.
If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. Noted that we are not professionals or experts at any of them, but we have been gaming for total together probably 40 plus years.
60.
60, yeah. No, because we started gaming when I was like 7 and I'm 47.
No, you said total together. We started in like 83, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, 60 years or more.
And we've been messing up the whole time.
Yeah, but we have a good time at it. And in my opinion, that's really all gaming should be about. It's having fun.
He's a loser. I'm an elite gamer. I want to crush.
He's an elite loser. Ask him about the Battletech games we play. But yeah, in my opinion, having fun is what gaming is all about. Not a min-maxer, I'm a fluff player. I like the story behind any armies I play on any tabletop war games. And I like to flesh out my D&D characters. I like them to have a good story, a good background. Yes, I like to hit things with an axe because I play dwarves a lot. But I like the role-playing aspect as much as the combat aspect of the game. And we've played every D&D system that they've ever put out.
That's only partly true. We never played OD&D.
OD&D.
Yeah, the white box.
No, we never played OD&D, but we did play old school D&D, and we're actually playing old classic D&D now.
Right, right. But I'm not trying to be corrector Stein, but you know.
Captain Corrector.
Captain Corrector, yeah, exactly.
Got a big C on his chest.
Just, I always try. I never got to play OD&D because that had came and gone before we even knew D&D was even a thing.
Yeah, so. But we did start out in the red box.
Well, yeah, BX.
The classic.
Moldve.
When my brother here had the elf named Elrond, and I had the dwarf named Thorn because we were creative. My phone is on the charger.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. We're creative, yeah.
We were creative. We are Lord of the Rings fans. When we were younger, our mom made us cloaks, and we lived out on a ranch.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, and we'd run around the woods wearing our cloaks with swords we'd carved out of palmetto fronds.
Yep.
And we'd run around through the woods.
So anyway, enough of all that BS. What do you want to talk about actually game related and not embarrassing?
Multiclassing.
No.
Against it.
Okay, so moving on.
Druids. Against them.
I like old school druids.
See, druids never made sense to me. My thought is if you're a druid, you should be tied down to your grove.
Oh, somebody is calling me. And I don't know where my phone is. It's our boy.
I'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, homie? The bitter? Wow. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Haas and I are just streaming some BS, but I am going over to your, and I'm going to do a search for, okay, I'm looking for that. Top bar. Okay. Still don't see it. Okay, let me go there. All pending blocked. Yeah, I don't see it. Right. son of, well, okay, hold on. Son of Rylanor, 4762. Capital S, capital R. Okay, hold on. And it's also AKA Constantine, too. So it'd be easier if I could just find you. But I'm looking for the. I have invite people, search for friends. I can search for friends. So is it capitalized? Hold on, come on now. I'm trying something. Okay. So what's your number? 0560. Let's see if I can find you now. Okay. 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 Yeah, I have no idea. He's saying there's a find friend button here, but I don't see it. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, are there any games you want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you.
D&D?
We can talk about anything.
40K?
That's okay. That's okay. I understand. I'm not upset. I'm just me and Haas are sitting here looking at the screen, and we don't see what you're talking about. Rylanor, and then AKA Constantine. Right. Right. Hashtag Aroni. Oh, okay. I'm like, 4762. Yeah. And the AKA is capitalized. Huh? Yeah. Sun space, of space, Rylanar space, AKA space, Constantine, and then the number. Constantine Aroni.
I don't understand Discord.
Uh huh. I have the Discord symbol, yes. Okay. No, there's nothing immediately to the right of that. I mean, it's got to be on there. Haas found me. I mean, I can invite people. Well, I mean, or send a server invite link to a friend. I could send a server invite link. Yeah, but I could send it to you through our chat group. Yeah, hold on. I'll do that. Well, you don't have to. It'll just send a whatever, and then you can copy it. It'll send an address. Okay. Okay. Bye. Okay. What a fiasco! Oh. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go to.
I sent mine over our chat group.
Well, I actually sent it my address to you, but you're not on your phone.
You can also copy it off
I don't.
of
I
your
don't.
phone.
I don't want any of this.
Really?
Yeah,
They're orange Starbursts.
I understand. I'm just.
It's not your favorite.
That is my favorite. Do you need me to move to one side or another?
No.
Would you feel more invited,
No, I'm good.
more included?
I'm included as king can included to be.
Damn, look at the light shining off of that head.
Yeah, man.
I got a hat behind you if you want to wear it.
I've earned this gray hair and baldness. I'm gonna go send yours to.
Well, I sent it to you on Messenger.
I'm gonna send it to him.
Oh, okay. Well, stop being crippled. Stop being homeless. Geesh, get a house. Do you remember that? No, probably not. Okay. All these pencils. This guy.
I sent them both.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yours and mine.
Yep. Who's the man?
You're the man. So, you figure out what kind of discussions you want to be involved in.
Well, I say we just wing it, man.
Well, winging it's good and all, but what are we winging?
Gaming stuff.
Okay, what kind of gaming?
Whatever comes to our brains.
All right, all right, all right. I'm with you for a minute there. Gaming stuff, whatever comes to our brains. So pick a topic and we'll talk about it, Hoss. You start.
40K.
What about? Besides, you're not very good at it.
Fluff with min-max.
Fluff all the way. Fluff all the way. I'm not a fan of min-maxing or these super efficient lists.
Yeah, I want my army to be competitive, but I want it to be funner more than competitive.
Right.
Because I have fun just playing, whether I win or lose.
Right, right, right.
Which is lucky for me, because I lose a lot.
That's true. Well, except when he plays as Eldar. But Eldar are broken. Eldar are cheap.
Yeah, but my Eldar is a fluff army anyway.
Well, you know.
Because compared to a lot of other Eldar army, I don't have the aspect warriors and stuff like that.
Oh, you know what I put on my list the other day? On my shopping list? Hello? Cool, 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 cool. Uh, I don't know, but I've got you right here as being online and uh, okay, okay, that would be up top here. Yeah, we'll see. Cool, cool. Now all you need to do is, if you ever get Twitch, you can get into the Twitch channel. You don't got to be on camera actually, and raise hell that way too. All right, so here is the thing, and add friend. Of course, I'm gonna add friend. This guy's pretty cool. I know him. He's all right. All right, look at that, getting all connected and everything. Recon.
The RPG.
About Palladium. I found a new copy online for like $29.
I love that game.
Right? I found a copy of the Recon Deluxe Edition rulebook online.
I don't know if my character is politically correct on that
No, that's fine.
game. It was cool.
Hell yeah.
No Tyrone.
Alright, I just need to remember how.
How?
Why?
Right, the server.
How do I live without you?
Alright, Ratcatcher's Guild.
Your server's called the Rat Catchers Guild? That's kind of cool.
No, that's Warhammer Fantasy.
Oh, I was going to say, that's, I like that. That's cool. I'm getting a bunch of alerts, so you must be doing something right.
Yeah, I'm doing it right. I remember how to do it. I just need to remember how to do it.
Okay, so joined, and I will join the Lamentations of the Flame Princess. King Brackish. No. Probably have to be specifically invited.
Yeah, but I can get you to Sabine if you want it.
I don't.
Want it?
No.
Alright, then I'm not gonna do it.
No, I like Satine Phoenix a lot, but I mean, what am I going to do? Hang out on her server? No.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like a million people on there too.
Right. I mean, that's another thing. It's like these people, you know, hanging out on the CR thing. It's like Senpai will never notice you.
Yeah.
So if you're actually interested in communicating with somebody and having a conversation, that is the worst, you know, your worst choice. Because I dropped in on a channel the other day just to see, because it showed up in my sideline there. It's like Destiny or something. And the chat was moving so fast that I couldn't follow it. I don't know how he could follow it, you know. And
I jump on Facebook Live videos when it's Zuckerberg just to tell him he's a tool.
yeah, but he's never going to see that.
Yeah, but still, it's funny to me.
Right, but it's meaningless.
Yeah.
He don't care. He's
No,
like,
he doesn't. He's going to cry himself to sleep on all those $100
Well,
bills.
it's not. I must have reached the limit because it's not letting me invite you to our Teslorian gigs either.
oh, that's too bad. I like our Teslorian, unless I'm banned and don't know it. I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's probably. I'm probably limited. Because
Well, we know that.
I mean, you get somebody online and then you spam them to death.
Okay, so they're probably saying you can only do so many invites in a given time.
Yeah, they don't want you to
Well,
always
you know, that's enough for you to get into trouble.
Well, I'm just gonna go back to my own thing and maybe beat my brother with a green cane pole.
Yeah, all right.
Why?
Anyway, we're gonna talk about some games.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, homie.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Got that handled.
Yay, it's handled. Let's talk about inclusiveness in games.
It's not.
Let's do.
You're not allowed.
I am allowed.
You're not included.
I am included. That's the great thing about gaming. Everybody is included who wants to play.
Not you though,
Why not me?
because
You're just a bundle of sticks, ain't you?
backhand you so hard.
You'd rather drink gas and be on a fire.
Yeah, that come from like the I think 5th or 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy box set. I still got that thing's freaking 10 years old. No, I mean talk about something interesting. I thought you had something to talk about, but
I never have anything to talk about. I usually just sit around and listen to you.
oh geez, that's true though.
It is.
All right, we can play a little ask each other some questions.
All right, go for it. Ask me something.
How do you feel about old school essentials?
Old School Essentials, I'm having a lot of fun.
Okay.
I am a fan of it. I like the game mechanics. Some of the things are I'm starting to get a little bit more used to, like rolling die 6s instead of die 20s for certain things. But overall, like if I had to compare it to the last game that we played,
You can say the name of it.
the last game we played Sunday. I love it. I had a blast.
Oh, I meant the last actual game we played.
No, I mean the last game that we played Sunday, the last session that we had.
Where you spent 3 hours trying to figure out how to get it. Well, 2 hours.
It was still fun. I had a blast.
Robbing a haunted house of its pianos.
You know, there was more role playing than combat, and sometimes that is a lot.
Right.
I had a blast at the game the other night. I think a fun time was had by all. It was interesting meeting the NPCs that we were to meet, like the mage, and it was always good to meet the head of the assassin guild. It was just fun. And I got some badass armor.
Well, yeah. And you did trade off some stuff and get some decent armor.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite game of all time?
See, that's hard. Because I don't have just.
Should we go by genre or?
Yeah, we'd have to go by genre. Because, like, favorite science fiction game, I'd have to go science fiction, and I don't know, is it game that I played, or just game setting, or just the story behind it, or the mechanics, or what?
Well, I think you're overcomplicating it.
No, because that's how my brain works when it comes to different things that I like.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Shadowrun story. Love.
The setting?
Yeah, setting of Shadowrun and the novels. I like the idea of orcs and everything being part of. I love the novels, but I'm not a giant fan of the game mechanics.
Yeah, I have a problem with the game mechanics
But I love
for Shadowrun.
But I love the setting.
Right.
I am a huge fan of Traveler.
Well,
I love Traveler. But Dark Recon, or not Dark Recon, what was it? The one where it's kind of like Shadowrun, but there's devils and demons and Dark Conspiracy.
yeah, you're talking the 40K role playing game.
That was a 40K role-playing game, Dark Conspiracy?
Are you talking about Dark Conspiracy or Dark Heresy?
Dark Conspiracy.
Oh, I've got it in there if you want to pull it out.
I love that setting. Loved it. But then again,
Well, it's just the modern setting, except full of aliens and
it's
demons.
It's supernatural.
It's basically the Supernatural TV show, but a game.
And I'm a fan of the TV show. But favorite sci-fi game
That you've actually played.
Star Frontiers. I love the story, the setting. I love the aliens. I like the classes.
What's your favorite alien?
Drowsite.
We don't need that. This is Star Frontiers. This is my original box set, but you can download most of this game for free online. Also, you can get it print on demand. All the books, all the adventures from Drive Through RPG. It's a simple sci-fi game, percentile based. So everything is basically roll under an attribute or skill, and skills are tied to attributes on percentile dice. It's a roll under system. Really wide open. The setting is cool. The aliens are great. I really like the Drow sites as well. It hasn't really been supported since the 80s.
Droughsite. If you want to think of a Droughsite character, think of Moffat from the Orville.
Yeah, Moffat from the Orville, basically, kind of.
That's the closest thing you could compare it to.
Yeah, if you want to see, you can look in there, and then if anything in there inspires you, we can talk about it.
All right, one of the funnest games that we've ever played as a group.
And I'll talk about it a little bit. We'll just go over what's in the old Grognard case. All right, this beat up thing is Middle Earth role playing.
MERPS.
I got this from the Coliseum of Comics for $2. Granted, that's been a long time ago. This is not my original. My original we used so much it blew apart.
We destroyed it.
This is, again, a percentile system where you roll. It's the same system as Rollmaster.
Or GURPS.
Except, no, this is not GURPS. This is Rollmaster. No, not the same.
Yeah, I never played GURPS.
Right. This is Iron Crown Enterprises. Iron Crown Enterprises.
You know who that guy is, and you know who those guys are.
And, of course, you've got the Fellowship on the cover. This is the rulebook. And it has a starting adventure in the back where you explore a tower, and there's some wargs and maybe some orcs there, something like that.
The great thing about this game, and the worst thing about this game, it was my favorite and my least favorite thing about this game, is it didn't matter how tough you are, and if you're familiar with any of the books, it really follows that. Like, you could just be, like, Buster Badass, and an orc can shoot you with an arrow, and you die. But
yeah, this game uses crit charts.
You got to think, if you think back about when the Fellowship are going through the mines of Moria, and they come across the book of when, who was it, Lowen, who went to the mines of Moria, and he became king of, it was one of the dwarves from the...
Yeah, the Dwarven King that got killed by an orc who was hiding behind a rock.
Yeah, but he was one of the dwarves that was with Bilbo when they went to the Lonely Mountain.
Right. It was...
Yeah, and he was the king, and you know he was a badass. He fought in the Battle of Five
So,
Armies, and
on these charts, you actually want to roll high. So it's percentile roll high, and it's one-hand slashing attack versus armor. So plate, chain, rigid leather, soft leather, or no leather. And the higher you roll on that chart determines the critical table you roll on. And then the critical tables are right here. So let's say you get a slashing critical attack. And if you got a E or a D, these just add to the roll. You roll a percentile dice. So a 120 on a slashing critical attack would be strike to the head, destroys the brain, makes life difficult for the unfortunate fool. He expires in a heat immediately. So you could be playing this game for a year and a half. You could crank your character up. You could have, a mithril helmet and the great sword of whatever.
You can run around with Andulin and stuff.
And if an orc, a common mortar orc, pops around the corner and rolls high enough, he could kill you. So, And of course, the game came with these cool standees that you could fold up and put in a little plastic, for orcs and the different characters. And it came with your introduction to role-playing. And here's your character sheet, which might be mind-blowing for D&D players, but yeah, look at that thing, boy. All your skills and different things. And bear in mind, this was a simplified version of Rollmaster.
We had times where we'd start playing this game in the afternoon and like look outside and it'd be morning because we
Yeah.
had the curtains pulled. And
Yeah,
I
the
would-
longest game we ever played was in of all games was this game, and we played for about 13 hours straight and didn't even know. You
we
know,
were in Moria.
by the time which I have that in there too somewhere. But by the time we were all getting tired, it's like, oh, how long have we been playing? And open the window, it's like still light out. And look at the clock, and it's like, oh, it's 7 in the morning.
Yeah, and like I said, some of the funnest and most aggravating games because like you build up a character and an orc runs up and shoots you in the back with the arrow and you die.
Yeah, it's not a game for people who get overly attached to the characters and want to cry if they get killed.
Now another game that I loved.
Okay.
Another game I loved. L5R.
L5R. I'm not sure where my L. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's the new stuff, though.
Yeah.
I've got the old stuff in the other bin.
Legends of the Five Rings.
If you ever wanted to play a magical, flaming katana wielding samurai, this is your game.
Or a magical, massive Tetsubo wielding samurai.
Crab Clan. Whoa.
This is your game.
It uses percentiles as well and is based on a skill based system with 5 attributes. Each of the attributes.
Yeah, Wayne's World.
Yeah. The primary attributes are actually the elements. So you have fire, water, earth, and air, and void. So the 5 elements, the 5 rings.
There are no ninja here.
And then each of those elements is split. So earth is, what is earth? It's like constitution or,
Yeah.
Here, let me look at the back. Should have a character sheet here somewhere. One thing I will say, L5R art is always beautiful.
If you like any kind of old Japanese samurai stuff,
L5R has the best art in
Is
the game, bar
the
none.
game for you.
Any game, better than D&D. I mean, it's not quite as iconic as, say, old TSR art or whatever, but if you just want beautiful art, there's nothing better than L5R. No game ever made has better art than this game. That's my opinion, and that's a hill I would die on. So let's see, making checks, additional rules for checks. Where's our attributes? That's our
Character
the
creation.
game of 20 questions. Your core, your honor, strengths and weaknesses. I'm not sure though. This is the Fantasy Flight game, and I've never played it. I just bought it. It might be different than what we're used to with the actual.
Yeah, I don't feel like digging out the other one.
Because this is talking about using special dice for things.
But it's still a fun game. The setting, I love the setting, and like I
Yeah,
said,
awesome setting.
Games for me is all about: do I like the setting? Do I like the story? Do I like the fluff?
Right, right. That's kind of my thing too, to a point. I love Shadowrun. The setting is amazing. I cannot stand the mechanics of Shadowrun.
No, the mechanics are just too hard.
It's just
too
it's
hard to play.
So if I want to play a game set in a cyber future like that, I'm going with Cyberpunk 2020
Which
by our Talsorian Games. Again, Red isn't out yet, but it should be coming soon. Until then, you can get print on demand Cyberpunk 2020, I think, for $19.
don't know a lot about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's a great rule system, and can do anything Shadowrun can do except magic.
Now I know another game storyline that I really love, Call of Cthulhu. But then again, I'm a Lovecraft
Well, I have
You have
3 editions of it in there.
fan, and that is that's the game that don't feel bad when you go insane.
Well, you will.
Type
Yep,
game.
go
It's
insane.
not if you go insane; it's when you go insane.
If you actually play the game,
You're going to go crazy.
you will go insane.
Your,
Yeah.
your character's going to go stark raving mad and end up at Arkham Asylum if you just don't die.
Right. if he doesn't get drugged down into the depths of some unnameable slimy hell full of tentacles and teeth.
Yeah. We're not talking about hentai this game.
And again, most versions that I've played of Call of Cthulhu are percentile based games.
No,
that's the basic role play system by Chaosium or Chaosium is a base. It is a percentile system.
Now let's throw out a game for just pure fun silliness. Can you guess what I'm going to say?
Paranoia.
You guessed it. It's the game where you make like 5 characters that are all the same.
6 clones.
6 clones. And that's what you start with. And you start with clone number 1. But when clone number 1 dies, and not if clone.
He probably will die. And it'll probably be really bad.
Because, you know, the computer might give you something like a thermonuclear hand grenade. And if you don't use said thermonuclear hand grenade, they can kill you.
Now, who
you don't
makes
trust
Paranoia now? Do I have that in there somewhere? I know I own that game, but it might be one that stayed out in the garage. There's Traveler, there's my Warhammer, Twilight 2000, Saga Star Wars, Dark Conspiracy.
Dark Conspiracy, that was a fun game.
Well, I used to be such a game design workshop freaking fanboy. Conan.
That's another great game.
Wrath and Glory. We've never played it, but I really would like
I'd love to play it. The Paranoia.
You basically live in Alpha City.
Everybody's in secret societies, but it's illegal to be in a secret society.
The computer rules everything, and the computer has a few rules. One is you're not allowed to be a mutant. That's a death sentence. And you're also not allowed to be in a secret society like the Sierra Club or the Communist Party or the Def Leopards. Except when you make your character, you are a mutant and you are in one of these clubs. But you have to hide that fact from the NPCs and the other players because Paranoia actually rewards you for betraying your own party members.
You're not betraying your party members, you're serving the computer.
And the computer is your friend. So the computer will send you off on missions that a lot of times there's no way you could actually complete, and will give you equipment that's more deadly to you than anyone you might try to use it against.
Or you and everyone that's around you.
And
thermonuclear hand grenade.
Yeah, the thermonuclear hand grenade that has got a blast radius of like 6 miles, and it's a hand grenade. So, you know, pull the pin and whatever.
And the computer is insane.
The computer is not only completely insane, but the highest class of society in this game, and it doesn't say how many there are, but there are not many, are the high programmers. And the high programmers have the ability to edit the computer's function, except they all hate each other. So the high programmers are constantly editing the computer's functions without telling each other what they're even doing. So the computer, if you're running the game as the computer, it is entirely within the realm of the game for the computer to change its mind about any given thing at any given moment.
So one time, the computer could absolutely love your clone, and the next second, absolutely order everybody else in the party to just kill you on the spot.
Right.
Because the programmer said, hey, this guy's a chucklehead.
Well, like the example is when they're trying to hunt down communists because the computer is convinced that the communists are out to get it. Even though the secret society that claims to be communists in the game has no idea what communism is because it's so far in the future that they just don't know. And an example would be like you shoot at a communist and you accidentally blow up someone who's much higher rated their car. Then someone in your party could immediately declare you a communist for destroying the property of a higher ranking citizen and shoot you on the spot. And then during the mission debriefing, depending on how they schmooze the computer and explain their actions, they could get a promotion.
Bootlicking is a skill.
Bootlicking is a skill. And then your friend that you ghosted because he messed up and shot and destroyed the car, his clone comes back and is not allowed to retaliate for that thing. Even though he's going to remember it and probably will want to retaliate, but he's not allowed to unless he can come up with a really good excuse for why he's retaliating. Which means you broke a rule. But anything you do is technically breaking a rule. If you go to the wrong cafeteria, that could be breaking a rule.
Yeah,
So
it might not be the day that your social class is allowed at that cafeteria.
well, right, because it's all color coded, remember? And the lowest color code is ultraviolet, and the highest color code is black. And ultraviolet areas are marked in black, and black areas are marked in black. So an ultraviolet person who's not careful could accidentally wander into a black area. And if you get found in a black area by anyone, it's a death sentence. You're not allowed to be there. And it gets even crazier because in addition to the clones that the computer is making that are all they've been cloned too much. And it's like the example they give is like if you just keep Xeroxing the same page over and over again, like you Xerox a page and then Xerox the Xerox, and so your guys are basically coming out of here mentally damaged and with all kinds of deformities and whatever like that.
And an added twist is not only is the computer going to send you on missions, but your secret society is also going to send you on missions. At the same time, computer sending you on missions. And if you don't do stuff that the computer wants and stuff that the secret society wants, and they're going to clash a lot, you're going to die.
Right. You have to figure out a way to serve the computer or to at least not get murdered by your compatriots for treason or being a mutant. And at the same time, to promote whatever your secret society's goals are. And then, in addition to that, when the computer forms you into a team to solve its problems, it will assign different people in the team jobs. So you might be assigned the job of hygiene officer. And then your character's job is to actually make sure the other characters and NPCs you run into are maintaining proper hygiene, such as brushing their teeth correctly and flossing.
And you can force them to do it.
Right. And if it's your job, then you have the authority to make them do that.
I wouldn't say authority as much as I'd say the obligation and having to do it.
Right. Because if you don't force it, then you're a traitor. And then you had what? The handyman, the happiness officer, because in Alpha 1 or whatever it's called, happiness is mandatory. So you have to be happy all the time. And the happiness officer's entire job is to make sure you are happy.
And they can dose you with pills.
And they can distribute pills if you're not happy.
Not can, will.
Will. So think like Brave New World Soma and stuff like that. So if the happiness officer thinks you're not being happy, they'll drug you up. And if you still can't be happy, then they might have to kill you because not being happy is treason.
Yeah, and if you're depressed, then you're against the computer.
Right. It's, So there's a lot going on there. And there's 3 ways you can play it. You can play it slapstick as a comedy, which is how we did. But there are actual rules to play it straight. So it would be like playing the game, but like serious. So Gattaca, kind of, or I don't even know what maybe 12 monkeys, except without the disease, and just everyone crammed into the underground place, serving a crazy computer.
And the secret society.
And their secret societies, like the Deaf Leopards. Their whole deal is they just want to destroy stuff.
Loud music, sound of breaking glass.
And the sound of breaking glass. So anytime a person who serves the Deaf Leopard destroys a thing, then they can report back to their secret society and get promoted or, bennies or whatever. Sierra Club wants to protect trees, even though most of them have never seen a tree or anything growing. All of these different things have their, there's the roboticists. They believe robots are superior species.
And
so
then there's mutants that robots automatically love.
Well, there's a mutant ability called Robot Affinity or something like that.
And that is like a super super dangerous one because if the computer is automatically having affinity towards you, then you can use the computer, and using the computer is against the computer. So if anybody finds out about that, you're just
That one's an automatic death sentence.
yeah, and they could wipe out all your clones.
Right, no questions asked on that one.
They're like, well, this guy's got computer affinity, so kill him and all his clones.
Yeah, I think it's called Robot Friendship.
Yeah, let's not take the chance.
Whereas other mutants actually have the option. You can choose to be a registered mutant, which makes you a second-class citizen, but it also means that you can use your mutant powers without being killed on the spot. So that is an option.
Except for robots.
Except for the robot one. That one is always, every single time, a death sentence. What else you want to talk about? That was a good one, Paranoia. That's one we haven't talked about in a long time.
Well, remember a game that was unplayable but was just fun to read?
Hole?
Hole. You bend over to tie your shoes. Your head explodes.
Yeah. That was kind of like a spoof game that White
God's
Wolf
credit card.
White Wolf came out with, Human Occupied Landfill. I have heard legend in the darkest, deepest parts of the internet that there were people who figured out how to play and actually played games of Hole. But me having read the book, I'm not sure that those are more than just myths.
But it was a fun read.
It's hilarious to read, though.
And
It was
character creation
was
insane.
right. Your character could grow up in the middle of the diaper sea because Human Occupied Landfill is just that. There's the Confederation of Worlds, so COW for short, and they dump all of their trash on this world, and this is where you live. And one of the regions of this world is the diaper sea, where all of those squelchy, full diapers have all kind of conglomerated together and soaked up moisture and kind of become a thick paste or pudding.
And the rumor is it's Earth.
Yeah, they kind of, some people say that it's Earth
Like
got turned into a landfill, but
like the Red Dwarf
it really
novel,
doesn't matter, to be
Lister got
brutally
stuck on.
honest.
Remember that?
Which Red Dwarf one?
The Red Dwarf novel. One of the novels where Lister gets stuck on it, and he's stuck on it for a long time. And he's cruising around on cockroaches and stuff. Giant cockroaches.
And it turns out it's Earth.
It turns out that Earth got so polluted they actually started using it as a dump.
Well, I mean, in the Asimov books, the Foundation books, they didn't even know where Earth was.
Yeah.
And then when they eventually found Earth, it was an irradiated mess because the sun had supernovaed or something. So.
Which scientists believe that our sun can't even supernova.
Do they? I don't know.
The type of
I
star
thought they said that could, but ituld be like billions of years.
the type of star that we have, they said that there's no this is what I read. It could be wrong, or I could have misread it, but there's something about it that it's not the right type of star that would ever supernova.
Yeah, but eventually it will grow dark.
Eventually, it will grow dark.
And then we will either hopefully have moved on by that point or evolved to some other state or just not exist anymore.
Yeah, well, by the time that happens, it's so many millennia.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about Conan.
All right.
Love it.
Love it. Modifius Conan is
Great.
an amazing game. Great art.
Great art, great system, easy to play.
Easy to play.
Great character creation.
You can only be a human, but
It's Conan.
there's 40
no other
kinds
race.
of humans. So,
There's no other races.
I mean, no other playable races.
Yeah, you could be a human of any flavor you want.
So you could be from the southern kingdom of Dafar, the Black Kingdoms. You can be from the frozen north.
Talk about a game that's all inclusive.
if that's something you care about, yes. Uh, the Sumerians that are basically a Celtic kind of people. The Aquilonians are like Rome, almost.
Well, I'm sure anybody who's on here listening to us chat about games has to know about
Right,
Conan. Yeah, I mean, Conan.
right,
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, do the lamentation of the women.
right.
All right. Okay, let's say, what are some movies that people should watch if they're into any type of game?
But you mean like,
Conan.
obviously Conan,
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. I love that movie.
Cool.
There's actually OSC added the Beastmaster class, I think, in the game.
Not cool the Conqueror, but cool with the
Kroll.
Crow, yeah.
Yeah, with the glaive.
Yeah. Army of Darkness.
Yeah, all the Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, and Evil Dead, and Evil Dead.
All the Evil Deads. Army of Darkness.
Right.
What was that movie, Night Riders, where there were people jousting on the motorcycles?
Oh, get out of here.
That was a fun movie.
Whatever.
It was a fun movie. Movies that people should avoid. Caligula.
Everyone should avoid that.
And it's got Helen Mirren in it.
I don't know who Helen
Named
Mirren is.
Helen Mirren. She was like female knighted and stuff. She's in Red and a bunch of other.
Oh, the one that plays the British assassin.
Yeah, it was actually, she was Caligula's
She's like the queen.
wife.
She's like the queen of showing her titties and
In
freaking
Caligula, yeah.
B movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's almost like that other one that oh, what's her name? She's naked in every movie. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you should avoid that movie. Unless you're into it. If you're into it. If you want me to.
Yeah, that's what you're into.
Me and you in the nude.
Getting rude with the food.
Hanging around. You're there too. It's me and you in the nude. If you want me to.
Didn't that Fly the Concords?
Yes.
Okay.
Frodo, don't wear the Lord of the Ring movies.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Lord of the Ring movies, but I mean,
Some of the things I've got peeves about, but I'm a fan.
I would say.
Helm's Deep, they didn't need the elves.
Well, no, that shouldn't have been at Home's Deep, but
They weren't
that's
at Helm's Deep.
that's a whatever.
The end of the Return of the King, they should have had where the hobbits had to go back to the Shire and actually fight Sauron.
Not Sauron, Sharky,
Saruman. Well, it was
Saruman.
Saruman of many colors, yeah. To fight Sharky and Grimer Wormtongue to get the Shire back.
Right.
Because I think that would have just been awesome, but I can understand the time restraint.
So okay, we
But
did
the Oliphants were awesome.
the offense were awesome. So we've talked about sci-fi and fantasy games and everything like that. So okay, let me ask you a question. We'll talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll close this stream off. If you could play any game other than the game we're currently playing, what game would it be?
The 40K role-playing game.
Wrath and Glory.
Yes.
Okay. And if you could play that game, then what would you play?
Space Marine Chaplain.
I don't know if that's an option, but you want to play Space Marines then?
Yeah, I'd want to play Space Marines, and if it was an option, I'd want to be a chaplain. Because I think that chaplains are just the coolest.
Yeah, they are. That's not
I
wrong.
mean, the only reason I'd want to play Space Marines in 40K would be for the chance to have chaplains and dreadnoughts. And the only reason I say chaplains in the Wrath and Glory game is because I don't think that you can actually play a dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts are my favorite of any game setting of any type. If a genie came up and said, "Hey, check this out. You can do anything that you want. What would you want to do?" I'd be like, "I want to be a dreadnought in the 40K universe."
Kind of dark, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it'd be cool as shit too. Show him a dreadnought. Me. That is a dreadnought. It is a person that got damaged in battle, and he was such a badass and so good in his chapter that they put him on what they call the iron sarcophagus and throw him into a war machine.
So that he can serve forever.
That he can serve forever. Because even if the dreadnought gets destroyed and the iron sarcophagi doesn't, they can always put him into another dreadnought.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, is it a horrible life? Your point of view. I mean, come on.
Okay.
To be such a badass space marine that you get to be a dreadnought.
All right. If you could play one game, but as like a one shot, so like just one adventure, maybe spread over a couple weeks.
Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu? Yeah.
Yeah, because those usually only last 1 or 2 adventures. Because, and that's a great in-between game. Like, okay, you're in between campaigns. The DM hasn't really thought of something for, say you're playing D&D, and the DM hasn't thought of a new campaign for D&D, but you guys still want to meet for your weekly gaming session. Call of Cthulhu is a really good game to play as an in-between game because of the fact that, one, it's just interesting if you're into the horror, the H.P. Lovecraft type of thing, the 1920s, gumshoe type of thing. I mean, it has an amalgamation of everything. You can pretty much be everything. And two, it's not going to last more than a few gaming systems because, you know, the attrition is kind of high.
If you were going to run a game.
If I was going to run a game, if I knew the game mechanics well enough to do it, and I
No, that's not what I'm asking.
yeah, I know.
I'm asking if you're going to run a game, which game?
Well, I'm getting into that. I'm not a good DM. But if I knew the game mechanics well enough that I was going to run a game, it would be Legends of the Fire Rings. Just because I like the setting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It is a pretty game to play and to run. I mean, because you're thinking about you're role playing, so it's all in your head. But you're thinking about feudal Japan, and in my opinion, yeah, I love like feudal European stuff with the big castles and stuff. But they're not beautiful as opposed to just like really badass. But you think of feudal Japan with the old temples that have been around for thousands of years. And, you know, the geishas and just the style of clothing and stuff. The cherry blossoms, you know, the koi fish. It has that aesthetic that I really like.
I think if I were going to play or run a one shot, other than running OSC, I would really like to run Boot Hill.
Oh, I love Boot Hill. That was such a fun game.
I have it in there.
Yeah, I know. See it right there. High attrition. Because
Well, it can be. I mean,
you're either a lawman or you're an outlaw.
well, no, you can be a cattle rancher. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, though.
You're a lawman or an outlaw. You don't play a Wild West game to be a cattle rancher. Or
No, you could be a cattle rancher involved in a range war with other cattle ranchers or sheep farmers.
To be a dude building a railroad, you do play it to rob the bank.
Well, or maybe you. I mean, if I were going to run it, I was thinking more of a, and I'm not planning to, but you know, the group. Imagine the group of players. The Civil War has ended.
Draw partner.
Right. And let's say it doesn't matter which side your particular characters fought on. They could have fought on both.
Yeah.
But the war has ended, and your characters have decided to screw the East. Everything east of the Mississippi, whatever. You're tired of that. You're going to head out into. You're going to head out into like Oregon or, you know, Texas or New Mexico somewhere, and you're going to try to find your new life. You know, away from all that and put all that behind you. And then shenanigans occur.
Yeah.
Maybe the sheriff in the town is corrupt.
Maybe you don't make it because you died of dysentery.
Well, no.
On the Oregon Trail.
You get
I'm sorry.
little Timmy's been carried away by a vulture. Yeah.
Bob died of dysentery.
Right. Your wagon has been swept away in a flood.
And Bob died of dysentery.
No, but the point I was trying to make though is then you have all these things. Like here you are, you've got your savings, you've bought your land, and maybe there's a cattle baron that wants you off of your land.
Think more on Bill the Kid, on Young Guns.
Maybe, yeah, that could be a thing. Or maybe you don't like the sheriff, so instead of becoming an outlaw, what if you run against him?
And then,
And you become the sheriff.
his goons and stuff like that, too.
Right, maybe there could be like an election.
Yeah.
With your friends trying to convince people. So instead of running around gunning people down, it could be a matter of your friends trying to go to the church or the local union hall or wherever and trying to convince people to vote for you. And then, of course, he might be doing dirty tricks. Like,
See, I'm more like regulators. Roll out.
well, yeah. But I'm just saying, Boot Hill is more than just
Oh, it's more than robbing banks and
robbing
trains
banks and trains.
There's-
Even though that can be a fun part.
There's so much flavor to it, and there's such a great background.
And it's
to
a
it
great
because
system.
It
really is a
background.
great
It's
system.
the American Wild West. And come on, everybody loves the American Wild West. Tell me there's one person out there, man, woman, trans, or whatever, who didn't want to be a cowboy growing up.
Well, there probably is, but I wouldn't want to hang out with that person.
Well, I might want to hang out with them just to convince them how awesome it would have been to be a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy, baby.
With the top right down, the sunshine shining.
But I get what you're saying. Anyway, all that said, it's been an hour.
It's been a fun stream. What are twin powers activate?
God bless America. Okay, Rima. Okay.
Flower, flower, flowers.